Ladies and gentlemen of first grade, I proudly present to you Jack's third story play of first grade, The First Fish on the Moon. Once there was a fish named Jack. He was really crazy. One day, tired and hungry, he wandered into Cape Canaveral, thinking it was a coffee shop. And the space station people, that would be Kayvon and Miranda and Noah. The space station people thought he was an astronaut because he accidentally got into astronaut clothing.
I'm going to the rocket, people!
So they got him into training to be a real astronaut.
Hey, watch it! Hey, watch it! Hey, watch it! Hey, watch it! Hey, watch it!
And they worked with him for 3 years. After 3 years of training, he finally got to be an astronaut. Even though he didn't really want to be one. He didn't even like the astronaut clothing. Then the big day came. He was getting ready to be sent up into a rocket. Alright, thank you NASA. Thank you NASA trainers, space station trainers. Thank you. Thanks Julius and Ray. Right here, please. When he was sent up, he was so crazy, he forgot how to drive the rocket. But what he didn't know was that he was doing flips and turns and all these really cool tricks. Then he noticed there were other fish.
You are not a fish.
They got on the rocket for the same reason.
Oh, yes, I'm a fish. Oh, yes, I'm a great white shark.
When they entered the gravity of the moon, the first fish that had entered the rocket, Jack, said to the other fish, I've got some good news and some bad news.
I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we're landing. Bad news is we're crash landing.
When they crashed on the moon, Jack flew out of the rocket ship full blast. He blasted all the way to Mars. The other fish on the moon tried to find a way to get to Mars too because they were jealous. And we'll come back to you fish later, okay? Jack, on the other hand, wasn't happy at all. He was on Mars. He was trying to get back. One time he tried to blast himself back to the moon using gunpowder, TNT, and dynamite.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom!
But he just made a hole in Mars.
Sorry, Mars.
So after
I'm really
all of
sorry.
his really dumb ideas, there came a really smart idea. And he blasted himself all the way to Earth.
10, 9, boom!
Now the fish that were still on the moon had a crashed rocket ship and no way to get home. Now we're going to go back to Jack on Earth. So just so you know, Jack that blasted himself to Earth blasted himself into a coffee shop. And he landed right in the coffee bean machine.
I hate this. He thinks cool.
The guy that worked in the coffee shop got the coffee cup out of the machine and handed it to a customer. Just so you know, that very cup of coffee was the very one Jack the fish was in. He was worried he would drown in the cup of coffee.
Call the Coast Guard! Call the Coast Guard! Quick, 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 quick! Call the Coast Guard!
Alright, now back to the fish on the moon. On the other hand, the fish that were on the moon got the great idea that Jack the fish had had, and they blasted themselves to Earth,
5, 4,
leaving
3, 2, 1. Ah! I went the wrong
And they left the rocket ship on the moon. Now, when all the fish found each other in the coffee shop, the guy with the cup of coffee with Jack the Fish inside ran out of the coffee shop.
Surprise! It's your birthday person!
And she was never to be seen again.
Hey, you're a human, bonk!
Get ready, Will. Jack the Fish and all the other fish he met on the trip got rewarded with a big...
Give me a happy face, bonk!
And the last thing we say is...